Shabbat shalom, y'all. Happy Friday. Pretty soon I'm gonna have Shabbats, guys. I requested a change of schedule at work so that I would be off on Fridays. So now I can have a real Shabbat. Yay! Not just a fake one where I come in after work and I'm like, yay, now I can relax. So yeah, I'm super psyched. The thing about Shabbat is that, and this is true for all of the Hebrew holidays, they're actually windows in time. And it's like a window in time that opens up a portal of energy available to us. And so this happens every week on Friday night from sundown to Saturday night on sundown. So that is Shabbat, and that's a window in time opened up to us where we can connect to a quality of the light that is not as directly available to us through the rest of the week. Same for like Passover, Purim, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, like all the holidays. There are historical events that happen around that holiday that the holiday remembers the historical event for. But the holiday was already celebrated in Hebrew culture before the historical event. It's just that it was celebrated for the mystical properties, and then huge events took place around those times. Because of the window of time that opened up, it exposed all of this energy, which meant that there were, it was like primed for, big events to play out, and so that's why the historical events align with the windows in time like that. So on Shabbat, you're not supposed to do any work from Friday night sundown to Sunday night sundown. And you're supposed to spend your time, depending on how like Orthodox you are, it varies, but like for someone like me who's like, I wasn't raised Jewish, but I have Jewish blood, and I am a Jewish, I am enthusiastic about Judaism. I practice Judaism and Christianity. I celebrate both holidays, or like Christian holidays and Jewish holidays, because I'm like, well, Jesus was Jewish. He was a rabbi. So in order to like understand the context of the Bible, it's kind of like you're missing out on half of it. There's so many wonderful aspects. So anyway, I am like a person that only is aware of the basics of Shabbat, but I do know that from a Kabbalistic lens, we are connecting to the light in a way that is more direct and pure than during the rest of the week. It's like the veil is thinner. And we are receiving the light, and like if we're resting and we're doing, what we should be doing is our spiritual practices and our spiritual devotions, reading the Bible, reading Torah or Zohar, or spiritual material, so that we can learn and expand our wisdom and change our hearts and our minds. But all of those things that we learn during Shabbat, it like grounds in a way that we can embody that wisdom and really be transformed by it. It also, the rest that we have during that time, it has like double the effect of like, say, if you just tried to take your day of rest on Sunday, for instance, the adapted Sabbath day. So yeah, just you get a different quality of rest. It's a deeper rest. It's a deeper sense of renewal, and it's a deeper sense of like mental unplug and emotional renewal as well. And a lot of people, like Shabbat, you're supposed to have a dinner with your family or with your Chabad, which is like your group of people that you have like Bible study with. And you light candles, and you have, you do like communion with the bread, you do Eucharist, and you say certain prayers, which I need to learn because now I'm going to be Shabbating it up. And yeah, it's all very sacred. But the whole point is that so everybody unplugs and they aren't, you know, they leave the outside world behind and they sit and have dinner and they have an intimate gathering where, you know, you have quality time together. And really share and connect. And so I'm looking forward to Fridays, even though I'll probably be Shabbating solo, but it'll still be good. And then I'll be here to make our videos. So yeah, but enough about that. Enough about our lesson on Shabbat. It's like a half lesson. We are here to talk about our weekend reading. And I've got I pulled our cards earlier on Instagram. Go follow me there at Liz_Taylor_Magick, Magick with a CK. And on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll see our readings there before we talk about them in the video in the evening. And you can see what I write about in the morning. Sometimes we talk about the writing in the video, and sometimes it goes off onto a different discussion. So our extended chat tonight, we pulled Harmony from Vintage Wisdom Oracle, followed by Choice, followed by Centering. Which I feel that centering is like a very common theme for us on the weekend. I feel like we're oftentimes being asked to reflect over the weekend or get grounded or centered. And I feel that. I mean, and that's the whole idea of Shabbat. So it's never like a surprise that we get these messages on the weekend to really reflect. Underneath Harmony, we got Four of Cups. Underneath Choice, we've got the Emperor. And underneath Centering, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So overall, I'll just have to say it's like stormy outside. It's really cozy. Overall, our reading feels very Aries to me. I feel like the overall message, if I had to like sum it up in 2 sentences, is no longer can we sit in stagnation if we're going to find resonance and harmony with like where the universe is leading us next. We started our new cycle starting on the Aries new moon. This is the big one we've been talking about. For months, we talked about like, oh, this is the end of like the first half of our life. Now we're starting on a new journey, new timeline. Like we can be totally new people. There's potential there to support us in a whole big turnaround as long as we do the transformational work on ourselves. And so the very end of 2022, like really wasn't over until just a few days ago. It was all that final purge and reflecting and reevaluating. And so I hope you had time to do all that work because now it's go time. No more sitting in stagnation. The Four of Cups, it talks about, you see how this person is just like sitting in the rain and this bird is like trying to offer them shelter from the storm, but this person is just like pouting and they're like just determined to like sit and be a stick in the mud. So in order to find harmony with like where the universe is taking us, where we're being expanded to, we have to like knock the dust off, essentially. It's time to get out from underneath this umbrella, stop sitting there in the storm, and it's time, like reflection time is over. So now it's really time to start taking action and implementing your plans. And so we're going to have to decide it within ourselves. I love how I was like, if I can sum up this reading in like 2 sentences, and then I was just like, and I'm just going to go off into the rest of it. So we really have to decide within ourselves as the Emperor to take a leadership role in our life and not be stuck in wishy-washiness. You know, the Four of Cups can be like stagnation due to boredom, indecision, being stubborn, or just not wanting to like make a change. So this person is a little bit stuck and stagnant. And so we've got to get out of that if we want to harmonize with the flow of the cosmos. If we want to harmonize with the miracles and the blessings, we need to get involved and start taking an active role in like taking step-by-step action towards like implementing our plans and goals, and not just sitting and reflecting on them anymore, but it's time to get to action. And so as we move forward in this new timeline, we have to really decide within ourselves to maintain the consciousness that we've built this far, right? Every step of the way, there's like a new choice. Every minute we have to decide, okay, am I in a state of reactive consciousness right now? Am I in a state of effect consciousness, or am I in a state of cause consciousness? Meaning, am I letting the circumstances around me affect my mentality? Am I letting it affect my moods and my emotions? Am I letting it affect my outlook, my consciousness? Am I letting the conditions around me affect like the actions that I'm taking? Or am I being, that's effect consciousness, right? When you're affected by the winds of change and you're reactive. This is a dangerous consciousness to be in. It can cause chaos. What we want to find resonance and harmony and affinity with the light, to connect to the light of the Creator. You see, the Creator is always showering omnipotent blessing, support, guidance. We always have manna from the day. God is in an eternal state of being and sharing and giving that unconditional love. It's only we that disconnect from it. And it's only our dissonance and our consciousness and our vibration that causes us to disconnect from that. And so we have to decide to have that constant state of strength, of certainty, of having our mind over matter, over like cultivating an inner landscape of inner peace and abundance. And so that we don't, make like rash decisions, or we're not too impulsive, right? Aries has a tendency to be impulsive, and we need to be somewhat impulsive. Like we need to follow like what's exciting us and like go after it, but we don't need to be reckless about it, because that can be like a downside of Aries too, is to be overly impulsive. So we want to kind of balance that out. And we don't want to be not impulsive enough, because then we're sitting here in stagnation, right? So we need to fire our engines and get them started. And Emperor is literally Aries. I love this. So yeah, we're taking a decisive leadership role in our lives. We're able to take charge, make decisions. Once we make those decisions, own them, right? Sometimes the lesson in life is just to stop being so caught between like this way or that way, right? Sometimes we're just being asked, like a good leader, sometimes they can just make a decisive choice, own it, and see what happens, right? It wastes time to go back and forth, frozen in indecision, or like afraid to make a mistake. It's like, just make the mistake and keep moving. Like you can make the mistake and recover from it and like pivot before, like in the time that you would have spent just like avoiding doing anything because you don't want to choose the wrong thing, right? So decisiveness is the order of the day. Go for it. Make a choice. See if it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You've lived and you learned, right? No big deal. It's not the end of the world. Or maybe it is. Okay, and then centering, we got with Queen of Pentacles. Now I'm feeling that once we get out of the stagnation, we make our decision, we get a hold of ourselves. Now it's about getting centered and grounded, right? And the more centered and grounded that we get, the more we're sure-footed in our steps and our decisions, and we start taking action, our outer environment is going to start showing this kind of stability, security, abundance, joy, beauty. So Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is really good at taking care of business, taking care of herself, and taking care of other people around her. I do think that because this is under-centered, I think this is like, hey, just look at your mundane situation right now. Get yourself centered. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you've got a good bedtime going, a good sleep routine. Make sure that your house is clean. Make sure that your bills are paid, that your mail is opened, like all that stuff that just adds up that like gets let go of or whatever. Make sure that's all taken care of and tight. Make sure that you're doing self-care and like taking care of yourself. Remember, like this year is all about implementing healthy, sustainable routines that are going to support you and build where you want to go. If something's not working or is draining you, do not hesitate to make a change this year, right? We're taking action. We're taking leadership. We're taking charge of our lives. And no one is going to change them for us, right? Everybody's too busy looking, like worrying about their own self. So no one's going to give you permission. No one's going to tell you it's a good time to do this. No one's going to be like, yes, it's so convenient for me that you're changing now. You have to take it upon yourself and do it. So get centered, start taking action towards your plans, really visualize your goals, but try not to be complacent. Try not to be overly controlling or stubborn. Just be open-minded, be flexible, but really get ready to get moving. I'm also feeling like, because there's been such a big romantic theme in our readings lately, one thing I did notice in this storyline was that underneath choice and centering, we had the Emperor like staring at the Queen of Pentacles. Choice, Emperor, centering Queen of Pentacles. So the Emperor many times can be interpreted as a serious choice of partner, someone who's like seriously committed and devoted and like a mature person to be in relationship with. But yeah, someone who's committed and in, if not a little hard-headed, but this is a person who's like serious about the relationship, ready to like make an effort. They're not fooling around. They're not like a page or a knight just coming in like, you know, just trying to like sow some oats, right? This is the Emperor's serious. He's built his kingdom. He's ready to build with someone. Queen of Pentacles is often considered the queen that represents like the keeper of the women. Like the person, like if you just see like the Queen of Pentacles, the context around it, like in a romantic sense, could be like, this is a person, this is like the long-term partner choice. So it's like, okay, one partner who's like the Queen of Pentacles, who's like the good choice, who's like, oh, that's a keeper. You want to take that one home to the family. This person here may be getting centered. Whereas this Emperor who's like ready to build with someone and make the effort and have a commitment, they're like kind of like figuring out, like they're trying to make a choice right now. So, yeah. And then in the meantime, there's something that's holding the situation back, right? There's just not quite the harmony. And I think it's because one party it's like this isn't moving forward. The situation isn't harmonizing because the Emperor is being a bit indecisive and maybe a bit stubborn. And then the gender can be swapped out. And then the Queen of Pentacles may not be harmonizing either quite, because she just needs to get a bunch of things done and like center herself or himself. Genders can be swapped out, but just think of the characters in general. So yes, there could be two characters coming together. Be patient. A lot of people have inquired about just how emotional everything has been coming out of the end of 2022. Lots of big major planets moving houses, and so that boiling point was like coming up to a head, and now we're just sort of like moving over into another house and sort of getting to catch our breath. So everybody's just been through it. So yeah, maybe everybody's just getting centered, really making up their mind, feeling good about their choice. Everybody's taking a breath. We're all getting centered. We're all figuring it out. But like it's we're at some point, like something's gonna have to give. Somebody's gonna make a move for anything to change. Spring has sprung and things are starting and they're kicking off, y'all. So don't keep sitting here in the rain under your umbrella. Get up, do something, take action, start to implement your plans toward your goals, and yeah, and be happy and excited. And things can be different because we are very different even than we were a few months ago. So this is our big new start. Oh, I meant to tell you guys this about last night. You're the lucky whoever is still listening. So there is a thing, speaking of windows in time that are open in Hebrew holidays, the 12 days of Aries. I forgot about this until my Kabbalah teacher mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So because Aries is like the first of the year, it's like the start of the lunar calendar, the first 12 days of Aries will affect the rest of the year. So each, and I'm gonna explain that better now. So each day in the first 12 days of Aries represents the month. So the first day of Aries represents the first month of the year, and then the second day of Aries represents what the second month of the year is going to be like, and the third day of Aries is going to represent what the third month is going to be like. This is like starting now for the rest of the year, so the next 12 months. So each day, whatever consciousness you are in during that day, and however reactive you are, whatever actions you take, whatever transformation you do those days, that day is the seed level energy of the corresponding month for you. So think about when Aries started on the new moon. What day was that? I can't remember. So hopefully you've been in a good headspace. Maybe you've done some acts of sharing, maybe some acts of kindness. Maybe you've just been optimistic or willing to have faith in amidst challenge. But you probably will be challenged each day of the first 12 days of Aries. This is like a little testing period. And it'll be up to you to try to maintain a good seed level of consciousness, right? Because each of those days is going to be the kind of flavor of the month that you're going to get that corresponds with that for the rest of the year. So just a heads up there. I'll try to remind you guys tomorrow again. All right, that's all for tonight. We've got we've got harmony, we've got choice and centering. We've got Four of Cups, a little stagnation here, difficulty finding resonance, harmony, because we're just a little bit uncentered and a little bit indecisive at the moment, or at least these characters are. But as soon as these two can get their shit together, maybe some fun can happen, right? Maybe they will cross paths. Who knows? Maybe somebody that you already know, maybe somebody that you haven't met yet, maybe somebody that you're acquainted with that you may become better acquainted with. All right, y'all. Well, take care. I'll see y'all tomorrow for our Saturday night secret sermons. It's our secret teachings of Jesus. All right, ciao.